of all, we have the capability of, visualizing records and visualizing and editing records via the share interface based on the new form service. So those who are more familiar with Alfresco remember that we always had the form configuration services in our web client, only there was no, let's say, automated and simplified way of just adding a new custom type and having, for example, a CRUD editing form around it. So the new form system is designed basically to allow even zero configuration forms for the users by just adding new document types rather than folder types, as well as to deliver a whole new Ajax-enabled, as you know, it is in share, so we have a very Web 2.0 kind of look. So these new forms will deliver a number of predefined widgets, like drop-downs rather than advanced text areas, rather than specific Ajax controls that you can configure via simple XML configuration, bind to your metadata fields. Right now, this new form system is only share. There is a plan for later on to have a unified form system both for share, DM, and WCM. The second point, which I already mentioned, that is really one of the biggest enablers for the record management module is definitely the IMAP integration. So, same as Alfresco repository is accessible via CIFS or via FTP or via WebDAV, right now it is perfectly possible to mount your Alfresco repository or to browse your Alfresco repository from your IMAP or your email client of choice. So for example, here we have Outlook or Mail for the lucky Mac users. But basically, there are two main rationales why Alfresco introduced yet another interface for browsing the repository. And basically is, first of all, ease of access from the clients. I mean, everyone who is doing document management has a high probability to be using already an email client. So that's yet another possibility that is offered to end users and non-trained end users to access Alfresco from the interface they are accustomed to, they are used to. But the second and probably most important feature for which this IMAP integration is being really interesting to the community. I mean, just to give you an example, I was at the DMS Expo 3 weeks ago in Germany, and I've been basically demoing the whole day. Everyone was coming and asking, we had our booth. Basically, everyone was coming and asking almost only for this IMAP integration, because there's a lot of use cases in government, like as in big enterprise context. So the second important feature is the capability of basically doing drag and drop of your emails directly within Alfresco. So imagine that your email client is configured with your enterprise email address, as well as with a local Alfresco server. Then by the means of just basically dragging and dropping the emails in there, together with their attachments, together with all the metadata that is attached to the emails, they will be stored in Alfresco. And I give an example. I've been working for a contract-based application for supporting contract processes on top of Alfresco. And in many cases, there are legal requirements for storing all the unofficial conversations and emails that went on between the different parties together with the official contract. So this feature is really an enabler, especially for typically the secretaries who are normally exchanging these emails, because that's very easy for them to drag and drop and actually have them in a complete record management framework. So this is an old slide which I took from an earlier presentation before summer. The certification for the DoD was scheduled for September 2009. So quoting a bit Matt, I bring good news. This is a press release which was put out today. We have the official records management certification from the Department of Defense guys. And this is actually the first open source software which supports a complete implementation, certified implementation by the Department of Defense. You can get more information there. Also, a product page has been added on the Alfresco website describing the records management capabilities of Alfresco. As I mentioned, there are a number of improvements that have been done in Share in order to support also the records management. We will see later for the 3.2 enterprise. But in general, as I was mentioning before, Alfresco is investing in Share in order to make it the unique point of entrance for all extended enterprise collaboration around content. We have been adding not only all the functionalities that were already present in the JSF client, but adding also, for example, administration tools like user and group management directly from Share, which means that, for example, you can extend the usage of Share also outside your enterprise to partners, to customers, in a really complete extranet type of collaboration. As well as because we tested Share against now a very high number of users. We're talking of tens of thousands of users synchronized with LDAP and supported by a Share. Of course, there are a number of improvements in this version of Share. I'm not going to go through them in the specific, but definitely these are all tools which make Share much more scalable and extensible to a higher number of users, higher number of content, and using the new form services also much more simple to develop against it. Couple of final notes on Share. We have been working a lot also on performances. There's not out a benchmark yet, but we have very convincing data about the 3.2 enterprise being way faster than 3.1. And more in general, the other big news is that Share will be moving to a complete CMIS-based interaction with the repository. I mean, at the moment, it is using, of course, the SURF framework, so a REST-based interaction with the repository, being, having the possibility of Share on one server and the repository on another server. But right now, as Alfresco is investing a lot in CMIS, with the next releases, 3.3 and 4 even, it's highly probable that the whole interaction of Share will be based on CMIS. And this means that you could even theoretically use Share with another CMIS compliant repository or federating repositories.